Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bayer in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football guys. Wake up here, guys. Man, it is Thirsty Thursday. We have the New York Stinking Giants against the Philadelphia Eagles tonight. Tonight we'll be live streaming during the game so we can kind of keep up and see what's going on in our division because let's face it, the only games that really matter are the teams in our division because we're so putrid. All we can hope for, our Super Bowl will be if we can win the division. It's crazy as it is. Right now, there's 5 wins in our division through 6 weeks. Unbelievable. And by the end of this weekend, week 7, there'll only be 2 more victories, and those will come because we're all playing each other. It's putrid. It's disgusting. It's terrible. And there's a little bit of a war going on right now between Copizzle and Philly 500. I believe there's a video out. Somebody's been sending me the links that Copizzle is talking trash about you and Philly 500. And it's kind of like, that Philly? Whatever. Whatever floats your boat. He's getting what he wants, which is some attention. So we'll see what happens tonight versus the Eagles and the Giants. If the Eagles win, they're first place, depending on what happens on Sunday, by half a game. If the Giants win, all of a sudden, they're creeping up. And that puts the Eagles down a little bit lower, just above the Washington franchise. It's crazy. It's still crazy that as bad as things have been in our season, at 2-4, we are in first place. It's just like, I just want to smack myself because it's crazy. 2020 sucks. So now ESPN has started some rumors that should the Dallas Cowboys trade for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now that Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has Miami Dolphins with a better record than we have, 3-3, being benched for Tua, being dejected, if they should trade him to the Cowboys because, well, the Cowboys, we don't have Dak Prescott. And I guess that's saying that after pumping up Andy Dalton, remember how all the talking heads said that, Andy Dalton, he might be taking Dak Prescott's spot. Andy Dalton, there won't be a drop-off with Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's never had these weapons before. Andy Dalton will breeze the Cowboys into the playoffs, making the Cowboys have a tough decision about Dak Prescott. That Andy Dalton, they're ready to say after one game, go trade for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Unfortunately, the problem is everybody's looking for a quick fix. Everybody's saying, just get this, bring it in, you're fine, it's done, it's over, we're okay. If you did hypothetically bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's got to learn what you're doing, learn your offense, learn the players around him, and also be able to run for his life. Our offensive line, I'll put it this way. The Raiders had a player test positive on their offensive line yesterday. They sent home the whole offensive line. Their whole offensive line not being the facility might be better than our offensive line that we have right now. We have gone through 4 tackles, guys. 4 tackles. And I tell you the funniest thing that I actually saw yesterday. I don't have the clip with me now, but I actually literally have to do this. FS1 made a change and they got rid of Jason Whitlock, a.k.a. Jabba the Hutt. And I wondered what happened to him. He's actually on YouTube now. And he had this thing that he was talking about, all the quarterbacks that he said were still better. He's still hating on Dak Prescott. Still all these quarterbacks he said that he would take over Dak Prescott and things. And There's a point to this. Oh, he still said, Dak Prescott has, a great back and great wide receivers and a really great offensive line. And I was like, dude, not that you had any credibility before, but we've been talking about our offensive line that's been great for years. We're still living off of what happened in 2015, 2014, 2016. 2017 was really when Tyron Smith started having those chinks in the armor. 2018, you had Travis Frederick gone. You've had Zach Martin have play one season on a bad leg. You've had Connor Williams as a disappointment. You only had one good season of Lyle Collins. Stop with this whole thing that the Dallas Cowboys have a great offensive line. And you can see, and I'm going to put a lot of the problems for Andy Dalton right now are the same problems he faced in Cincinnati. The offensive line is terrible right now. That's not to say these guys won't get better, but we got guys that collectively, all their experience combined that are starters right now is like 4 years in the NFL in playing time. Bringing in Ryan Fitzpatrick again, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference where you're going to say, oh, now they're a Super Bowl team. At this point, the die is cast. What you have to do is you have to coach up the guys that you have. You have to figure out, okay, it's like when you're doing a recipe and you realize you're out of one spice. Well, I need a spice that's similar to it, that's got some flavor that I got to put into it, okay? I got to get something, it's like if you don't have salt, well, maybe you can use soy sauce because soy sauce has got a salty taste to it. That'll kind of add a little salt to it. Or you end up using a little bit of like chicken broth or, the bouillon cube, okay? You find a substitute for what you're doing. For me, I honestly look at this and say, with the offensive line having problems, you got to change exactly what you're doing. I would look at actually playing Ben DiNucci. Just would. The reason I say that is he's young, he's got some legs, and the defense for Washington won't expect it, well, unless they watch the Jobu Sports Report. He's going to be a little more mobile, and what you do is, hey, keep moving the pocket. Keep moving him on bootlegs. Keep getting him outside, quick hitting stuff. Andy Dalton is just going to be a stationary target, and when you got, Montez Sweat and you've got Chase Young is chasing old. That's not going to be pretty. So you have to figure out what works. And you also need to start developing a relationship with your players. Hearing your players talk about the coaching and stuff says there's no relationship there whatsoever. Maybe you're too standoffish, or maybe they're intimidated by you, or maybe they just don't believe in you. Whatever it is, you have got to get into their heads and let them know that we're in this together, because this ship is sinking fast. This season, the way I'm looking at this season is we may win the division. We may not. We may not win another game all season. We may. But this year, COVID is just a lost year for everybody. You look at going to school and, yeah, okay, we're doing school online. We're not really learning the way we would be if we were in a classroom. You look at the people that are unemployed or are working from home and aren't able to do it. You look at the businesses that don't have the money that they normally have because sales are down. It's a lost year for everyone. But what you do in that time is you reflect on what you do right and look for new directions of planning and doing things differently. So as time goes on and things get back into gear, you're in a better place and a better position to succeed. I do this every single day. You got more time to think. Players are injured. You look and say, what can I do differently? Times have changed. Things that used to work don't work. What can we do to reinvent ourselves? And that's what Mike McCarthy needs to do. Developing the relationship with the players so they start to believe into him. And now start figuring out who are the players that are going to work from the going forward. If you win along the way, great. If you don't, well, we'll have higher draft picks. In which case, you can help to set yourself ahead sooner. It's not what you want to hear, but 2020 sucks. 2020 is screwed up. You can't plan for anything in 2020 because it gets changed at a moment's notice. Kids in Boston are finding out today, guess what? You're not going to school anymore. Today, starting today, you're going to be back at home. Well, yesterday they didn't know that. Boom. That's just how it is right now in 2020. I'm going to still be here. I'm going to still be a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm still going to be rooting for them. And hey, just going to keep on keeping on. I'm Mark Holmes, and as always, thank you for being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. I'll see you soon.